dancing behind movie scenes, behind the movie scenes. Sadi Rani, she's the one that keeps the dream alive, from the morning past the evening to the end of the life.
Hi, and welcome to my India Trip 2025 video. In January of this year, 2025, my wife and I travelled to India to spend 21 days with the family, mainly to visit her elderly parents who are getting on in years now, and we wanted to spend a little bit of quality time with them, which we succeeded in doing. We planned the trip to be mainly spent in Siliguri, although we did have some time at the beginning and the end in Calcutta as well. So this video is going to describe how we went about all of that, all the travel arrangements, and what we did while we were there. So we booked all of our flights to and from the UK with Emirates, and one of the main reasons for that is there's just extra leg room on their flights, and that really makes a difference to my comfort, certainly. So that was a good reason for going. And the food's gone on the planes as well. We flew from Heathrow to Dubai, very brief change in Dubai, just hour and a half, less than 2 hours, and then from Dubai to Calcutta. So here we are at Heathrow, and out there is the ginormous Airbus A380, which I believe is the largest passenger plane in the world. Now, we flew on one of these last year to India, and I was very glad to see we were flying on one of them again. They're so comfortable, they're so smooth, one of the smoothest flights I've ever experienced. They seem almost immune to turbulence. They're quite incredible. Always find the flight crew very helpful, very polite, good food, very good in-flight entertainment system. Yeah, happy with Emirates and would definitely fly with them again. And we're not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by anybody. So on arrival at the Chandra Bose airport in Calcutta, my brother-in-law collected us, took us back to his home for a day of recuperation, so that we could catch up on our sleep, have some beautiful homemade Indian food. And that was just one of the outstanding features of the trip, the homemade food, as I'll discuss later. The plan was that night to travel on the overnight sleeper train, the Darjeeling Mail, between Calcutta Sealter station and NJP station in Siliguri.
It's literally 28, 29 degrees. It's really lovely. It was 23 when we arrived at 8 o'clock this morning at the airport. So it's shirt sleeves at 8 o'clock in the morning. And there's just a nice slight breeze as well. Yeah, this is home. India's home for me, definitely.
So this footage shows the Darjeeling Mail backing into the platform at Calcutta Sealter station. And as usual, we travelled AC 2-tier first class. It's always comfortable. As is normal, we shared our compartment. It was a 4-berth with a young Bengali couple who were charming and polite. We arrived at NJP on time the next morning, around about 8:30, 9:45, and my sister-in-law and a driver collected us to take us to our hotel, the Loft Hotel. Now, the Loft Hotel is a super hotel. We've stayed at it before. This was our second time of staying. And the plan was we were going to stay in there for 17, 18 nights. It's on the Nivadita Road in Siliguri. It's a 3-star hotel, but it really does punch above its weight. It's clean, the rooms are spacious. Okay everybody, here's our room. As you can see, nice big room. Bathrooms being arranged as we speak. AC. The staff are super friendly, very helpful, and the buffet breakfasts in the morning are absolutely wonderful, and they were one of the highlights of the trip. What I liked about the buffet breakfasts was the sheer choice, because you could have fruit, chole bhature, luchi. Oh, there was just endless things on, eggs, toast. They make the most wonderful omelettes. I had the masala omelette every day pretty much because it was just delicious. They also make lovely masala chai, but their plain chai is lovely as well. Their plain milk chai is delicious, and lovely coffee we found out. And one of the real delights for me of the holiday was the small, locally grown Indian bananas. They're just the perfect balance of sweetness and flavour. Just better than any bananas we get in the UK. I suppose you can't beat locally grown produce, can you? But it was just really good. In fact, I found the standard of the fruit in India generally to be very high, and better than the standard of supermarket fruit in the UK. One of the features of the Loft Hotel is that they are quite famous for holding weddings, which of course is a wonderful spectacle because they bedeck the entrance with flowers and decorations. And it was quite interesting from our room to watch the whole wedding stage and the catering being set up in the morning of the day of the wedding. And then when we came back that night, the wedding was in full swing, as you'll see from these clips. It was absolutely wonderful. Great music, some lovely dancing, whole uplifting thing. And it was really good because it didn't go on late into the night. The hotel are very good about that. They don't allow loud noise to go on into the night, which is a really good feature of it. So definitely recommend the Loft Hotel. It's good rates as well. We got really good rates. I think for our 17 nights there, we were paying something like £14 a head, so £28 a night for the two of us, including the breakfasts. And I felt that was really good value. So yeah, Loft Hotel, good place to stay. Now, one of the features of our Siliguri day was we'd get up in the morning, have breakfast, and then we'd take a cab between the hotel and where my mother and father-in-law live. And I really enjoyed the journey between the two locations because you really get to see Siliguri in action. Lots of fruit traders, the cows, the bustle and hustle, the sheer animation that is India. I love it. I love the way India is just buzzing. It's a wonderfully uplifting place to be. So yeah, lots of landmarks on the trip became very familiar, like the Pani Tanki. The other thing I've got to say is we found a cab driver very early on, and this is so typical of how India works, and I love it. The guy basically was our cab driver for the whole time we were there, and if he couldn't take us, he'd find another cabbie friend that could, you know. It's just brilliant arrangement, and I just love the way you can do that in India. It's just one of the delights of the place. Siliguri is a booming place. It's very strategically placed in West Bengal because it's in what they call the chicken neck, which is the very narrow part of West Bengal which links the eastern states like Assam, Meghalaya and all of those with the rest of India. And as a consequence, there's quite a lot of building going on there. There's some road widening, which my sister-in-law explained to us in this clip.
This building, this road is being broadened, the bypass. Because it's such a bottleneck. Because now people from the hills go to this airport now using this road. It's very busy, very congested. So they're widening the road. And today's a Sunday, so you don't see the congestion.
We didn't eat out much in Siliguri. We went out for a Chinese meal one night, but the place I want to talk about is Chibo Basti, which is a Nepalese restaurant. And we had some of the best momos I can ever remember there. They were just so good. We had the fried momos, so they were crispy on the outside, but wonderfully tender and succulent on the inside. So Chibo Basti, it's located on the first floor of the Planet Mall on Sevoke Road. One I can definitely recommend. If you like Nepalese food, go there. One of the things that was going on while we were in India was the Kumbh Mela celebrations, which don't happen every year. They're so often I'm not sure of the frequency. But the main celebrations are held at the junction of the Yamuna and Ganga River, also the Sarasvati, which of course is a spiritual river, but in geological terms, it did exist after the Ice Age, and they've got proof from satellite pictures that it did. You can see the course. It was a mighty river when it existed as well. So there were lots of associated festivals, one of which we witnessed going along the Hill Cart Road. And I think this clip coming up absolutely sums up the joy of India and the vibrancy. It's just sheer joy. See for yourself. Now, I've been to India several times, but believe it or not, I have never until this visit travelled in an auto rickshaw. And it's an experience I'm so glad that I finally had. They're just incredible things to travel around in. There's so many of them. They're so cheap and they get you from A to B so quickly. There was one particular auto rickshaw journey which I captured on film because I couldn't get over the speed of this tuk-tuk. I referred to it as the super tuk-tuk because this guy was getting up some incredible speed, as you'll see in this clip. Super tuk-tuk. This is Jeff Felder's tuk-tuk. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. One of the things I really enjoyed in this India trip was the home cooking, the sort of food that people eat in their homes in India on a daily basis. And probably the main takeaway from the trip was realising just how high quality Indian cooking is. the ingredients, the range of dishes. There is just nothing like Indian cuisine. And we had so many delicious meals cooked at my mother and father-in-law's, and indeed at my brother-in-law's, that just were outstanding in terms of flavour and variety. I love it. There's just nothing to beat Indian cooking. There really isn't. So what we've got tonight, we've got mutton, rice, dal, sabzi, chapati.
There's dancing behind movie scenes, behind the movie scenes. Sadi Rani.
One is here at Barbecue on Park Street. As a long-time resident of Calcutta, having overstayed my welcome after the demise of the Raj.